and gentlemen, and welcome to 468. I am your host, Keith Andrew, and I'm here with the talented and beautiful Erica Larose. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Most definitely. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, the honor is all mine. Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them they can break the labels. That being said, half hour, 37 minutes every time. You can say whatever you want, keep it PG, and make it rated R, whatever you want to do.
Good.
All the episodes are different, but with that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, first of all, I think your show is extremely inspiring. Congratulations on, what number am I?
468.
468, yes. Okay, cool. That's exciting. So about me, I'm an actor, writer, producer. That is what I'm doing right now. I grew up doing modeling, playing the piano, and dancing. I don't do much of those things anymore on the regular, but, they're always still going to be a part of my life, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're passionate, well, what I mean by, yeah, absolutely, I just answered my own question in my head. Don't mind me, it's been a long day.
No worries.
You guys mentioned all those things, a model, and actors playing the piano, and anyway, why I said absolutely is because if you have a passion for it, you should go and do it. It doesn't matter, if you have labels or how old you are. If this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, and I'm a perfect example of this, is that's showing you, hey, I was labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded. I read and learn at a 5th grade level. I was never going to amount to anything, but look at what I'm able to accomplish.
I think that was so phenomenal, and I'm impressed. When were you told those words to your face when you said that's what you were told?
Yeah.
I think that people need to be told not to do that. That is disturbing because you're a lovely person and clearly you're capable of a lot. So I don't like to put any limits on anything. And I used to do that. I used to put limits on myself to a fault. I always thought, even in my late teens, that I was too old to start something new, and I was too this and too that, and I've realized it's actually quite the opposite. And you can start anything any day you want.
No, I agree. For an example, I guess we do have a lot in common because I use the same analogy because I call it the boomerang. I keep coming up with different sayings like, the glass ceiling or the leash. But one of the other ones I came up with is the boomerang. Growing up, I would throw it and say, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I weasel my way out of certain things. Like I don't have to take certain tests. I have a disability, blah, blah, blah. But yet, when the boomerang comes back and it whacks you upside the head, you realize now people are going to know you and consider you that person. Say, oh, you're that kid who says he has a disability. You don't have to do this. Or I guess you're better than us. So basically, if you got to use your label, just keep in mind that it can bite you in the ass. You can't have it both ways. You're saying, okay, you have a disability, you got to use it. But at the same time, if you're going to use it, don't get defensive when someone brings it to your attention. But if I made it, you're basically setting yourself up.
Have you felt like in your earlier stages of pursuing your show and everything, did you feel that you were getting offended ever?
Not really. I had a lot of criticism saying, you're a con artist, or you're not really saying who you're supposed to be. The show's not about you. It's supposed to be with people with disabilities. I got most of my connections from LinkedIn, and so it's not to dredge up any bad things. It's just a lot of people like to talk shit, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what's the point?
Right. What's the point of? What do you mean? What's the point?
I'll give you an example. Recently, my boss was saying to me, I like your show. I think it's good, but it's not about you. It's I bit my lip and it's like, well, it's kind of is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But yes, I know the show isn't exactly about me. I'm turning myself into an example, but I'm interviewing everyone and everyone. Doesn't matter, whites, blacks, Spanish, Asians, Muslims, gays, straights. I don't care. If you want to be on the show, I interview everyone. I do not discriminate. Because even if I did, that would be an oxymoron for my show.
Most certainly.
So it's... Yep. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're 100% right with that. I was just agreeing.
No, I know. It's Skype. It's kind of like cutting in, cutting out.
Yeah, it does.
But it's kind of like saying, I interview everyone and everyone. You don't necessarily have to have a learning disability to be on my show. If you want to support a good cause and help me with my message, then it's a great interview. Then we have something in common. Yes, I do interview people that have disabilities. I've interviewed a deaf girl. Oh, that was a fun interview. Basically, we didn't say anything. I was just holding up the phone with the words.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I interviewed, a blind person. I interviewed a guy who has cerebral palsy, and he was in a wheelchair, but he was a filmmaker. I pretty much interview everyone who wants to be there. And like I said, I don't discriminate.
Yeah, I think that's phenomenal, and I think that is... saying a message in itself, the fact that you are doing the same thing over and over again, having this show, and bringing in all kinds of people. It's showing that we all can do the same thing. I think the show is about you because it's what you want to do. So I'd argue with him. Not saying he's a bad guy, but, I would argue with him.
I would. It's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah, no. I mean, pick your battles, right? Your cat's waving at me.
Well, it's not a real cat. I have this Asian fetish because I like everything Asian. Because I like different cultures. I'm into the whole Japanese. Maybe the Godzilla movies had a big effect on me. But I grew up watching the Godzilla movies, and I'm like, I really like these things. I know I'm American, but why not try stuff for different? So basically, I found in a store in the mall, I think like it was TNC or something, and they were selling these things, and actually I have one right here, right in front of me. So don't worry.
Those are really cool. I kind of think I might get one. I mean, I've definitely seen them, but I like them.
I can definitely send you the link if you're interested.
Sure. Why don't you do that? That'd be great. I'll add it to my collection here in my room.
You know what would be really nice? I have my own studio and have a giant cat just doing that the whole thing.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Or you just have a human-sized one when you walk into the door.
That would be nice.
If I come across one, I'll let you know.
Hey, I bet it is out there somewhere. A while ago, they made a 7-foot rubber ducky somewhere in the ocean. Don't ask me why. People have too much free time on their hands. And someone in Japan thought it was a good idea to make a 7-foot rubber ducky. it's somewhere floating in the ocean. Only God knows where that is. But
that is, I did not hear that story, and that's ridiculous.
Well, if I find it, I will show you.
Please do. Please do. I hope it has some kind of purpose, but if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, if you kind of want to think about it, we're all like ants in God's bathtub. That's what the ocean is. Kind of another reason why I don't like the ocean. But with that being said, who influenced you to start your career, and have you ever worked with people with special needs besides me?
So, who influenced me to start my career? Well, this is a good question. I'm going to start with that question, and then I'll move on to the next one. I wanted to be an actor since I was a young girl. However, I was extremely terrified. As I told you, I was in the arts from a young age, but something about acting terrified me. I think that's partially why I liked it, because I knew it was this adrenaline effect. But I also, I love it for so many reasons, but I was scared to pursue it for some reason for a very long time, and I was really scared to be vulnerable, because I think I knew I had so much in me to show. And so it wasn't until in my late teens that my mom introduced me to a producer and was like, take this opportunity to get to know him and get on his movie. And I did. And I guess my mom really influenced me to go after my dream. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I did make my own decisions, and it was me who, we are the ones guiding ourselves, but people do help and influence, and gotta remember them. Gotta remember those people. Yeah.
Now, the next question I was gonna ask you is, what were some of your favorite films that you starred in? And did you have to take acting classes, or did you just jump right into it?
So my first film, I just jumped right into. I had taken some acting classes in the modeling school I went to. So when I was in high school, I went to modeling school. Sounds silly, but I did. And it was a wonderful experience. They taught us how to walk on the runway, do our makeup, speak. I think we had speech class. I mean, we had a bunch of classes. And I think we had a posing class. And we had some commercial classes where we did have to read material. And, but that's all. Up to my first film, that is the only training I had. And my only experience acting was on stage in school, which was required. So it wasn't until after my first film that I packed 2.5 suitcases and I went to LA. And I was like, yeah, this is a great idea. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. I know maybe one person there from a mutual friend, and that's it, and my cousin. But, I just got 2.5 suitcases, went on a plane, there was no one next to me on the plane, so I went to bed. I woke up in LA. I laid down, and I had some guy with a Hawaiian outfit on. What are those things, a lei?
Yes.
With a lei and Hawaiian outfit in the Los Angeles airport being like, welcome to LA. I'm like, what is going on? And I soon started taking acting classes. I didn't know what kind of acting classes I wanted to take. I didn't know, there's so many options. There's a bunch of techniques. And it was my ex-boyfriend, actually, who, really did have a huge influence on me in the industry in a good way, who recommended me to my first place of study called Playhouse West. And I was there for 3 years. So, yeah. Great school. Wouldn't take it back for the world.
I actually thought about taking acting classes. I attempted to. Me and my sister went to this acting coach in Middletown, New York, and it was interesting. I am socially awkward, so once I warm up to I I can't. You're like, this guy doesn't shut up. But, you know, I don't know. I was never one of those people who wants to jump into groups. So I was kind of like the loner. But a couple things that turned me off about it was, it's like, oh, well, you can sign up and this is a demo class in 1 or 2 days. And then after that, it's going to be $600. I went, okay, that sounds fine. And then you say, that's semester 1. Semester 2 would be $2,400. And I was kind of like, I don't
no big deal.
I don't have sucker running across my forehead or ATM. And I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I can go about it another way. But
that's pricey.
No, absolutely. And then I interviewed a lot of other actors that actually said, it's good to have some basic training, but you really don't need the acting classes because it doesn't make you better than other people. For an example, do you have a certification, like a certificate saying you completed the course? Do you have one of those?
You know what? I actually don't have one of those. Playhouse West, at least when I was there, they did not offer those. It wasn't that kind of school. It's kind of a community. It's a loose 3-year program, and then people actually continue classes there for as long as they want. It's a family, and even the courses I took after this courses, the scene studies and everything. There was no certificate. I know that some conservatories offer that. I don't care. I don't care about a certificate. Like, I can draw one right now for myself.
But like I'm saying, just because you have that little piece of paper doesn't mean you're more qualified than the next person.
Most certainly not.
But the next thing, I'm going to ask you one more easy question.
Yeah.
And I know we started off just throwing things at the wall, but hey, all interviews are different.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you were growing up, what were some of your favorite sports? And were you a study nerd or party animal?
Okay. So, sports. I was a dancer. I was never into sports. My parents never integrated me into the community of sports. But I always loved running. I still love running. And so I joined track and field at one point, and I dropped out. Because I don't mind competition. I wouldn't say I'm the most extremely competitive person. I think I'm more of a grounded person, just going about my business. But I don't think I liked the competitive nature of running, because I just love running so much that I'm like, I don't really want to win. I just want to run. So I quit. What other sports did I play? I played soccer, intramural soccer, so never seriously, and I'm active, so I enjoy it. But I'm not a sports person, and in high school I was a party animal. I was extremely rebellious, and I didn't give a shit. I didn't care. Pardon my French. But that was the only way I could put it. I didn't. So, would I take it back? I could go on about the topic of regret for a long time. I don't think I've come to terms with not regretting things. Like, I know people say you shouldn't regret anything.
Yeah.
However, I kind of do. I kind of regret, like, some of my decision making when I was young. I definitely was a partier. Small town, there's not much to do, and if no one's really disciplining you, you can kind of like do whatever you want. And I think that's what was going on with me. It made me who I am.
All right.
Hey,
you have to express yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can tap into that side of life, and I can, like, really understand it when it comes to acting. So, what about you? Have you ever been a party animal?
Not really. I more was a. This is how I sum up my 4 years of high school. Freshman year, I had my brother's friends who did not graduate, so I had them to keep me company.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore year, in the beginning of the year, well, a little bit of my freshman year too, I basically sat against the wall by myself because, I was antisocial and part of my learning disability. So it was really hard for me to interact with people. Now I can't shut up. But back then, I wasn't that type of person. And I always still don't like to put myself in a position where you get rejected. So that's why I was kind of hesitant on approaching people. But, yeah, that's basically my freshman, sophomore year. Towards the end of my sophomore year, this guy came up to me and says, long story, basically, he knew my whole family. He said, why don't you come down to the audiovisual department, and why don't you make something of yourself? So about, trying to remember, let's see, I was there in March, so I had to be January or February of 2004 when I went and I joined. And then I was still, talking to people and everything. At the end of the year, I asked a couple of people for their numbers, AIM messages. AIM was a big thing back then. Actually, I miss AIM. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun. I liked AIM a lot. You had your away messages, right? And like profiles from earlier when it first started. Anyways, go on your story.
That's fine. Now you have texting, so you don't really need AIM anymore. Well, then some people still have AIM. I was debating if I really need it again. But,
might just be fun.
It's true. Yeah. I miss the noises it used to make.
What was your name?
I had a couple of names. I had my real name on it. I won't say it on the air.
Okay.
But yes, my first name is Keith. So it's Keith. What's the last name? Let's see. I had Rush. I'm a big fan of Iron Maiden. Rush and Iron Maiden. Rush was a long story about that. We were visiting my grandparents. My brother wanted to be nice to me. He put headphones on my head. He says, "Tell me when it's done." And what I was listening to was Rush. And so Rush was actually the first band that I got into. And
nice.
Also, thanks to my other brother, I got into Iron Maiden. The whole rock and roll thing.
Nice.
And
cool.
I was kind of like, wouldn't it be cool to have a cool nickname? Why not have Rush Maiden? And I do like the song 2112. There you go, Rush Maiden 2112. And at the same time, I was kind of like, maybe I should get like a different name because I used to be a little paranoid when I was younger. So when someone, say you're on my interest method, part of my disability. Say
no
you're on my list and you weren't on. So I would come up on a number name. Don't ask me why. It's somehow spelled Megan, but that was not my prerogative. I was like, there's a wrestler named JBL. So I went JBL, and I like Mega. Maybe that's in Mega Man. And I said no. And people said, why do you have Megan in your Skype name? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? JBL, Mega as in Megan. Okay, yes, it does spell Megan. And so, I don't know, it's a long story about that.
That's funny. Why did you get the new name?
Well, going back to that, is it when I say you're not on one, I'm saying, what are the odds of saying you would be on the other? And then you would be on the other messenger. It's like, why are you on this name instead of that name? So, a lot of high school drama. I brought a lot of stupid things on myself.
I think most people did in high school. I would have to say so.
That's true. My biggest regret was there's this one girl that first she flirted with me and I flirted with her. Long story short, she called me a stalker, blah, blah, blah. And maybe I was. That was one of my biggest regrets. Because, and I didn't do it deliberately. It's because I have poor mannerisms. And it's kind of like if you don't really know me, you think I'm doing it deliberately. So I was kind of, with my disability, people kind of made things up, and one thing led to another. But, I don't know, it's all in my book. But, I don't want to complain to you. But basically...
No, it's not, for me, it's not complaining, by the way. So, please, anything you want to say, just say it.
Well, we can save it to another time.
Okay.
So, basically, my junior year was basically called a stalker. Because I liked this girl, and she flirted with me. I called her hun, she flaked out, and she ran around telling everyone about me, saying, Keith's a stalker, blah, blah, blah. And sophomore year, senior year, I was banned from AV because I couldn't be there when she was there. And it was pretty much, that's, my 4 years is pretty much like this. Oh, we know, Mr. and Mrs. blah, 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 your son has a disability, but we promise you, after these 4 years, he will be a functional adult. He can do and get a job and whatever. Nope, this is how I spent my 4 years. Today you're going to play on the computer, listen to iTunes, or do math and times, or, here's the newspaper. Go read the newspaper, don't bother me. So basically, I was pushed along in school, and I got out with an IEP. For people who want to know what an IEP is, it's an individual educational program. Long story short, then we can take a commercial break. As it's basically says you can wipe your ass with it. That's basically pretty much what it is. But
it's a piece of shit.
It's pretty much it. Because if you don't want to learn a trade, like go to a trade school and learn how to work on cars, refrigerators, custodians, or be a janitor, or whatever trade, it's kind of like, hey, congratulations, you graduated. Here's the door. So,
right.
So I was pretty much labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded. So I used that for a long time. Fast forward now. I worked in retail. I got sick. Took me a whole year to recover out of my own stupidity again. And I got disability money. And I was home. I was unemployed. And trying to fast forward without skipping parts. And after Hurricane Sandy, I'm the youngest, so the brother before me was saying, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm hitting a roadblock. And he's like, talk to your brother, talk to your sister. They know people, they can help you out. And I said, what about me? He said, well, what about you? You're not educated. You piss people off. Okay, I do. You piss people off, sometimes deliberately, sometimes not, because of my mannerisms. So you piss people off, you're not educated, you're not qualified, you can't hold down a job, and you're going to probably be in a group home or, whatever is going to happen to you because you're going to be a burden. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to show you with a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And for past 4.5 years, it still antagonizes me. But you were supposed to be 768. But unfortunately, I wasn't doing permission forms at the time. So basically, little by little, because when I did my show, it's what you see on the camera, it's what it picked up. And so I wanted to show people there was a transition, not like this, because, if I did it right, then you want to see a growth. So I went from the phone to from doing the phone calls, from recording from the phone, recording from the camera, to now Skype recorder. I wanted to show you there was a transition. So unofficially, yes, I did 700. But officially, thanks to you, we're up to 668. And a lot of people say you're not doing it right, and a whole bunch of other things. So basically, I have now permission forms. I introduce myself, I tell you what the show is, and once you sign it, it's a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
Little by little, people would say to me, yeah, my agent said, my publicist said, you're degrading, you ask a lot of stupid questions, I don't want to be seen with people like you.
Are you serious?
Yep, and can you take it down? We're going to sue you. And I used to say, oh, okay, whatever you want to do. Now I'm like, nope. You signed the form? You can read, right? You signed the form, and you know exactly what the interview was before it got started. And now whoever comes out of the woodwork saying, oh, well, I have second thoughts, nope. I will rewatch. The only thing I will do is rewatch the interview and edit it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
For under no circumstances will I delete it, because I used to do that, and I used to get out to 400, and then they're like, why is 200 and now above the 400, or why is 100 behind the 300? And so that's kind of like, you sign it, you got to stand by it, it's a done deal. But
I think that's very smart of you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm surprised that these representatives were having problems. I mean, I don't know. As far as degrading goes, I don't know. I don't find you degrading in any way whatsoever.
I appreciate it, and every interview is different. Sure. It's not going to be the same. It's not Bill O'Reilly or Bill Maher, even though I do use them as inspirations, but it's not going to be like, all right, today, life growing up, life after death, blah, 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 blah. Next episode, same exact thing. Next episode, same exact thing. I like this. I like it being real. I like it being unpredictable. And, hey, you're supporting a good cause, making a new friend out of it. It's not scripted, and so, for an example, you didn't know anything I was going to say beforehand.
Nope.
Or likewise, I didn't know what I was going to say. But sometimes I do write them out. Sometimes I'm like, let's just have fun with it. And it's kind of like this saying, let's just take one step at a time. And just see where it goes. Just be real. And that's my new catchphrase. It's hashtag keep it real. It's not scripted. It's not, pre-planned, because it's no fun. If you do exactly what you say, okay, we're going to talk about college today, and then I'm going to talk about college, and it's kind of like, you don't see it in your eyes that, okay, she means what she's saying, or he's saying this, and he doesn't really mean what he's saying because it's pre-scripted. I like it just to be artificial. If that makes it's trying to find the words for it. I like keeping it real.
Authentic.
Yes.
I use hashtag keep it real too. That's one of my favorite hashtags. Because I don't like BS. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. So I am a huge supporter of the way you run your show.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, with the last 3 minutes left, I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there anything you want to know, anything you want to talk about?
I don't know. The show's almost over?
Well, I usually took a break, but we did a spontaneous interview.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have fun with it.
Yeah, totally. 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure. Ask me whatever you want.
Okay. If you were to play one part in a film, what would you want to play? What kind of character would you want to be?
Good question. I'm not trying to kill time or anything. The one show that influenced me, just to give you the highlights real fast. Almost Famous had a big impact on my life.
Okay.
And since 2004, I wanted to be a personal assistant.
Wow.
Or roadie. And then that fell through because it wasn't realistic. And then I was kind of like, what am I going to do now? Because I was still working in retail and whatever. And then I came across a TV show, Suits. And excuse me. I came across Suits and I fell in love with it. I wanted a boss like Harvey Specter. I wanted to be like Mike Ross. And that goes into the acting. But then the acting was too much money. I didn't want to invest in it. Because I have a disability and I have a short attention span. So it's kind of like setting myself up for failure. So, from being a roadie or a personal assistant to wanting to be an actor from Suits. But I personally, in movie roles, I would be like the main actor. A lot of people say to me, you look like a Trekkie. You more look like a tech guy, live long and prosper. But, you more look like a tech guy. I'm like, all right. Well, what about if I take off my glasses? Do I still look like a tech guy? Well, you look like a tech guy without glasses. So I had to find... So now, I would like to be like Chris Pratt, Chris Evans. A lot of people say, you will never be that person. You will never do this. Until you give that person an opportunity, you don't know what they're going to be. That's why, for my talk show, I create opportunities. You didn't approach me, I approached you. And sometimes, yes, people do approach me and say, hey, I didn't see your episode recently. I like what you do. But I like, trying to find the words for it, then we can sum it up. I like approaching people and saying, when I die, my brother makes fun of me for this. I say, it's the thought that counts. And the reason I say it's the thought that counts is when you die, it's how would you like to be remembered? And it doesn't matter if I did this whole dramatic thing. Yes, I do talk with my hands. I don't know why.
No, I do too. Actually, I stay like this a lot of the time so that I don't flare them around.
So
I'm half Italian, so like I grew up with like arms flying around. Anyways, go on.
So it's pretty much saying, actually I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But
you were talking about how you want to be remembered when you die.
Yes, thank you.
Well.
I had a brain fart. So it's like, it's the thought that counts, because it doesn't matter if you do this whole big dramatic thing or you do something as tiny as in does making a difference in somebody's life. I would like to say, yes, Keith had a nice life, but one thing I remember about him was he was a pain in the ass. No, but seriously, he made a difference in my life. When he was doing this talk show, he was nice enough to approach me and say, this is what he's doing, and you want to be a part of it. That's why I say it's the thought that counts. Because, yes, I do want to become famous out of this. I'm not asking to be an A-lister or a B-lister. Maybe right now I'm a D-lister. Maybe eventually I'll move up. But I'm showing you, hey, look at what he's doing. And for someone who reads and learns at a 5th grade level, look at what he's capable of doing. My interviews are spontaneous, but that's just me and my personality. I like to shake things like Vince McMahon. It's time to shake things up again. And I like to do things that, yes, I'm a big wrestling fan, if you can tell. That
yes. You have a shrine-esque thing.
It's spontaneous. It's kind of like saying, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm going to work as hard as I can until I die, saying, this is my priority. And for you, it's your acting career, going on a limb. That's what you want to do until you die, because you're very passionate about it.
I'm glad you see that in me. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's true. You're right on. You got that right, and I'm happy to hear the same for you. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Okay.
But the last two I'm going to ask you is, are you on LinkedIn, Twitter, Stage 32? How can your fans follow you?
Sure. I'm on LinkedIn as Erica Larose. You can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page as Erica Larose. I'm Erica Larose everywhere. And the Stage 32, I don't know much about that site.
Basically, it's for actors. I did most of my networking. Basically, it's kind of like MySpace, where you say what category you're looking for. If you're looking for actors, boom mics, teasers, educators, then you pick the city, then you put the zip code in, and it will pop up. So it's kind of like MySpace, Facebook. Well, it's kind of like Facebook, but it's just geared to actors. I can send you the link if you want.
That's really cool. Yeah, I haven't heard much about it, but I'm sure it's huge. Yeah, thank you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm Erica Larose everywhere. I don't know what I sent you. I don't use Twitter a lot, but I want to. I'm just, I need to start just maybe every day I'll just type a word just to get used to opening it up and using it because, I'm on it right now, and I'm gonna like your, I'm gonna like your post, and I need to find out what my name is here at Erica Larose. There we go. So yeah, I use Instagram and Facebook a lot. LinkedIn. I'm gonna get on this.
For me, I'm always on Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm trying to get followers, but it's like pulling teeth. But it's kind of like. Also, it's, for an example, when I messaged you and two other people, it women me. It's like, okay, that's it for a day. I'm like. This is why I use Twitter. It's kind of because it doesn't limit you or how many people you can talk to. I'm not saying I'm a spammer. I say, I do copy and paste because I don't want to I have a thing with my hand when you go type, it kind of cramps up. So if I just say, hey, my name is Keith, very nice to meet you, I'm doing the show, I would say that to like two other people. Okay, yes, I guess that's kind of like spamming. But it's kind of like that's what I've been doing, so it's normal to me.
Yeah, but if that's just how you're starting the conversation, which is how you did with me, there's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with that. But Instagram stops you after so many people?
Yeah.
How do they know? Because they know you're saying the same thing?
Yeah.
That's rude.
That's why I go to Twitter and I can just do whatever. And of course, Facebook, after like 20 people, they put up the wall and say, okay, that's enough. But Instagram's like after like 3-4 people and they're like, and there's an error or someone came up and I'm like, it comes and it goes. Instagram's alright, but I like the other ones. But I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Yeah.
And,
okay, cool.
Go ahead.
Are we saying goodbye?
Well, the one thing before we do, wrapping up our talk show, because I know it's spontaneous and I'm looking forward to part 2 as you down the road. It's when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show. What was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
My first reaction was, I wonder what this is all about. And I looked through your Instagram page and I was like, my second reaction was like, oh, he seems pretty dedicated. And then I saw Judy's name and I immediately messaged her. I was like, oh, how was your time on the show? And she said you were lovely. And then I was like, done. Because I like I said to you earlier, I did radio for a year.
Yes.
And I love it. I miss it. And so for me, this is, I'm not going to my radio show right now, but it's that same spontaneity and improv experience that I really like. It's exciting and it's fun. And you're a nice guy. Now I know that. So that works.
Well, if I ever decide to have a co-host down the road, I'll keep you in mind.
Yes. I can even guest co-host sometimes and just pop in once a month and I can do that as well.
Actually, we can try that, see how it works out.
Cool.
Or if you're interested, maybe we can create our own show.
And I got another show in the works, but
that's an idea.
Yeah, we could. Let's talk about it. I was about to start a show. I live in Brooklyn,
Right.
in Bushwick, and I was about to start a show with Radio Free Brooklyn about relationships. But I might have to postpone it a bit. I'm in pre-production for a project right now. This is like my first full-length short film that I'm producing, and it's taking up a lot of my time. So when that is done, I want to do some more fun stuff with radio and all that. So let's keep it in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, wrapping up our interview, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
Maria Camille Dixon.
Emma Dates Wardam.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Me, Mark Medley.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Neely.
Barry Papick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Morris Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
This is Goldar.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
My name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm gonna come kick your ass.